welcome back. Come on in. Welcome to CCH 360, Consciously Connecting Humanity 360. Now, today, we're having another intelligent conversation in regards to Tai Chi. And we brought along a very special guest. Our guest today is not only a master, but a grandmaster of Chinese Kung Fu, studying several disciplines over several decades.
Several? Come on, man.
Come on, be honest here.
Over 55 years. Over 55 years.
I'm a baby. I got 2 decades.
You are a baby.
To me. But anyway, today we have no other than the Grandmaster Cooper herself, who I currently look at personally as being an engineer and a pioneer in the arts. And honored to say that I've personally been able to play with her and experience some of her wonderful art.
Good.
In your videos, you reference Tai Chi Chuan as focus for most Tai Chi forms. How do you balance the Tai Chi for health needs for the students versus the Tai Chi Chuan needs for the other students?
Okay, let me turn my phone off now that you found your questions. You mean in the same class? Like
In the same, yeah, because the classes could become mixed. Or do you separate your classes?
No, it's all, I think, learning how to defend yourself is very healthy. And I think fighting is fun and it rouses the spirit. So there's no separation. There never has been. And I actually find the Qi stimulation in the martial, even in Shaolin, it's very fascinating. For example, I'm going to just show you an example because Peter Kwok taught us punch drills in a really different way. I've never seen anybody else do them like this. Tried to share them with several people and they just go, huh? But it's a lot like the way the meridians, the energy flows in the body. So when you're, in a horse, I'm just going to show my upper body, and you turn, and then when you pull back, you're pushing up the yin channel. So you're massaging blood towards the heart. And then so the yin channel is pushing the yang in the correct direction too. So you have this interaction of the forms the whole time you're doing a punch drill. So, I mean, and then you feel so energetic. I used to think, why do I feel so energized after I drill 1,000 punches? This was when, I was young and middle-aged, still in the heat of Shaolin training. And I used to think, boy, you must have a lot of rage, and you just feel like it's such a what's that word when you, a release of your emotions to drill all those punches. But you're literally moving a lot of stagnant energy. You're moving chi and blood from the scraping when you do that. And, you see it all the time in Tai Chi moves with wiping and stuff. Yeah, I don't separate health and fighting at all.
Well, okay. Well, I have found some students want one or the other, but not both. And that's unfortunate, I think.
That's their problem. That's
okay.
their
Question number
problem.
2.
Yeah.
What do you consider as the top 3 breathing techniques to teach new students?
I am really glad you asked that because, yeah, have you been watching my videos about teaching breathing?
I've seen a few, yes.
Yeah. So the top 2, so let me start with Buddhist breath. That's the first one I learned. And that's like animal breathing. And we do a form called Igun Jin, which is reputedly the form that Damo taught to the Shaolin monks, 1,500 years ago, when they were getting all flabby and arthritic from just doing scripture and, writing down the ideas in Buddhism with the Chinese characters. And he taught them this form, and it employs a breath that is known as Buddhist breath. That's hard to say. Buddhist breath. Buddhist breath. Never mind. Anyway, on the inhale, you drop it's like how singers breathe. You drop your diaphragm, your belly goes out. On the exhale, you contract your belly and the breath squeezes out. But there's a lot of different arm movements that you do with that. And I actually posted it on the free YouTube channel. It's a great form. I still do it to this day. I teach it to people in their 80s. It's a fantastic, because as we age, our tendons get shorter. So this form literally strengthens your muscles and stretches your tendons at the same time as it improves your lungs, as you're taking in more oxygen. So Buddhist breath, then Taoist breath, which is also known as reverse breathing or the longevity breath or yogic breathing. So on that one, you do the exact opposite. You contract on the inhale as if you're lifting the pelvic floor, pushing the muscles in at the perineum. And then on the exhale, you release and slowly relax the pelvic floor, and the exhale comes down. So, and then the third breath that's really important is embryonic breathing. So that's kind of the, you know, in your mind's eye, you're seeing a fetus attached by the umbilical cord to the mother's placenta and breathing through the umbilicus. So on the inhale, you start at the navel and you imagine the breath going around your back, crawling up your back and going over your crown point to the tip of your tongue behind your front teeth. And then on the exhale, you envision this, you have to be like looking at the breath like it's, you know, traveling. And then it goes down the front, down the conception vessel, you know, down the front channel to where it resumes. So it's circular like that. And that's how you breathe in the morning when you want to get charged up. Like, let's say you got to make it's like drinking coffee or something, you know, the equivalent of. Now, you don't want, unless you're trying to stay up all night, like study for a test or you have to drive somewhere, you could do that breath at night to do that. But at night, you really want, you know, in general, you're trying to fall asleep and let go of nervous energy and stuff. So you go the opposite direction. So on the inhale, you're going to start here and go up the front and then go down the back. And it's that same circle. And when I teach the peace games, I simplify it. So I use the metaphor of a snowman. And this is good for you. You're from, are you Minnesota or Wisconsin? Where was it?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
So still a lot of snow.
Cold enough.
Yep.
So this is a, you know, the California kids are like, huh, snowman. But anyway, so you build the bottom, fill up the bottom with air, build the middle, and then fill up the top, like you're building the 3 balls of a snowman. And then melting is a really good metaphor. Melt the top, and you know, that's like the sun coming down. Melt the top, and the top does always melt first on the snowman. Collapse the rib cage, melt the middle, and then melt the bottom. It's just a puddle down there. So we build snowmen when, you know, for the breathing, because I don't like to get the kids into all this tricky stuff. It's just too much, too mental. There you have it.
I enjoyed your explanation of the Tai Chi symbol and a reference to proper posture. How do you teach proper posture to students who can constantly overlean and overreach?
Well, we all do that anyway. Even if it doesn't look like it. But we do a lot of each one or standing meditation where that's all you're thinking about. That, you know, I mean, it's not all you're thinking about. 6 directions of force, down, up, forward, back, left, right. But you're very focused on lifting the crown point, sinking into the feet, you know, feeling that ridge pole. So that's how we train it. That's how we train it. And I think that you have to train it. You can't just say, keep your back straight. We do that for the first half hour of class. It's just, that's all we work on, is just that straight up, you know, vertical gravity being vertical to gravity connection. And our style is not a leaning style. Our style does not lean ever. So, man, I have problems with the lighting in this space. Let me move over here. Okay, that's a little better. I was getting blinded by the light. Yeah, that's how we do. I mean, you know, there's a they call it the flat line. And if you ever do ballet bar work, and they call it floor bar, and you get into the flat line, So I used to have a bubble butt when I was younger, and it really bothered me when I looked at my form and I'd always see my butt sticking out. And you know, the Chinese ladies would have the nice flat shape, and I'd be like, dang, I wish I could. But that doesn't really matter. If you got big butt muscles, it's going to look like you don't have a straight back. But that's just, especially if you've been doing a lot of stance training, you're going to have some bulging muscles there. So you don't want to overcompensate by curling up. I've seen people really curl up. You know what's interesting is to watch boxers. You know, you can see them in their curled up structure. You can see the yang protecting the yin. You know, they don't want to get body shots, and they're spreading the back, and they're I don't know, contracting the front.
They're making themselves small in the front.
Yeah, yeah. And in fact, if you take a body shot, you know, you have to suddenly tighten up your muscles so it doesn't hurt you bad, like a liver shot. You know, if you, yeah, that can, you can. I had one of my top fighter end a fight. I think it was a deciding point on Lay Tai, because he did this kick, high pap rating in case you listen to this, and he has like size 12 or 13. He's a tall guy, and he did this kick that he learned in ballet class, because sometimes I'd make my students do floor bar because we used to share studio space, where the ball of his foot connected the right side liver, and then his big toes just poked in after it went boo, and the guy just went woof and turned a different shade of green, and the fight was over.